Okay, let's go.
Hi, you guys. How are you? Merry Christmas season. I got dressed up for you. Little joy, um, little festivities behind me, changed the color scheme a bit. So excited to see you. William, good to see you. I don't know who Be Here is, but hello there, Be Here. Robin, good to see you. Allie, Valerie, and Derek. Colin. Hi, Colin. Richard, so good to see you guys. Glad to be back again we have a few more weeks before we take a Christmas break. So, hi, Jenny. Good to see you too. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are in the middle of a crazy Christmas season, but I want to remind you, if you want a little bit of encouragement this season, follow Encircled Music, which last week we had Adam Anders on, the director of Journey to Bethlehem, and he has a new endeavor called Encircled Music, and you can check it out on social media platforms and just hear some short little encouragement videos from Lee Allen Baker, from Emily Hutchinson and myself, and basically all of Diego's clients, because Diego's cool. So yeah, I encourage you to check that out, or maybe share them with friends. I don't know about you. I have a couple of friends who this is going to be their first Christmas without a spouse. And I'm mindful of them. So in between my celebration, because I'm on the other side of that, which is this is my first Christmas in many years that I have a husband, and my new husband and I are enjoying decorating the tree and things like that. But I'm also mindful of those who are maybe struggling at this time of year. So if you know someone who needs some encouragement, then that may be a way to be able to share quick little thoughts with them. So it's Encircled Music. And I think you can just look up on Instagram and you'll be able to find it, or Diego can post something about it. So I'm glad to see you guys. Let's see. Hi, Drana, Grace. Hi, Grace, Kathy. Oh, Chris Marks. Hi, Chris Marks. Be Here is my travel channel. Cool. I'll have to check that out, Chris. That's great. Hi, Stephanie. Oh, thanks. Been married a month and a week now. Imagine that, a month and a week. We just hung a couple of our special ornaments on the tree, and that was nice. So yeah, it is no joke, though, combining homes of two grown adult people who have been single for many years and had their own homes and households. Whew. That's something to get used to. A lot of adjustment, a lot of compromising, a lot of like, oh, okay. But anyway, it's great. It's worth every bit of it. So if you search Beverly Hollywood on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, or anywhere, you will find her. Yay! That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. Diane, I make a commitment from Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, through the month of December, that I wear red or green or at least Christmas earrings every day. So something festive every day, because I figure you only have a month basically to make the most of the Christmas season. And I love Christmas. And so, yeah, I have earrings and jewelry and some fun little t-shirts and stuff to just enjoy the season. So anyway, sounds like a movie right there. Yeah. Valerie, where did you guys decide to make home? Actually, no, I am in Idaho. And so I keep an office in Burbank with Kappa Studios. And so I divide my time between the two. I'm in California when I need to, but so much that I work on doesn't end up shooting in California. So I go to Nashville more than I have to go to LA these days, but I do have an office in LA and I keep that. I moved here to be with family about 6 years ago. And then my new husband is born and raised Idaho, Boise, Idaho boy. So he's a hunter, fisherman, outdoorsman. He knows everything there is to know about the state of Idaho, but has not traveled outside of Idaho very much. He has traveled some, but not very much. And so he hasn't seen like the Grand Canyon or Arches National Park or New York, places like that. I don't know Idaho at all. So I'm going to show him the rest of the country and he's going to show me Idaho. So we have many, many adventures ahead to share. So excited about that. Yes, I was just thinking that as Chris, as I was saying that, it was like, I need to visit Chris's channel. So yes, please promote your channel all you want. That's great. So yes, tonight I'm answering your questions. We don't have a guest tonight, so it's all me. I will answer any questions. We have actually had a few weeks where we haven't been answering a lot of questions. So if there's any that you guys have had that I haven't covered, please, please, please ask, and I'll keep my eye on the comments and try to get to them. I have been doing a lot of coaching, as you know, for the last several months, and I love doing that. And it's interesting because a lot of the same things come up, but still it is unique one-on-one. Like when we're going over headshots and things, I do think it's beneficial to be able to talk to someone one-on-one about your specific headshots. Because yes, I can give you general rules about, like, general rules of thumb about what I think works and kind of general do's and don'ts. But if you have the opportunity to actually one-on-one with someone about your specific looks, and because then you can target more your characters that you feel like you play or that you want to be playing, and how to achieve some of that. We talk a lot about like texture of clothing and texture in the photographs, and not wanting to look too perfect and too coiffed, I say, over like every hair perfectly in place and everything clean and pristine. Oftentimes that has a more commercial feel to it, as opposed to a film TV feel, where we're looking for a little more human. We're looking for a little more texture, a little more realness than like a commercial shot. And so I've had that conversation actually with a couple of different people recently in my coaching about that. Well, it's actually a little bit of a struggle for them because they have a commercial agent that is saying, hey, I need these kinds of shots. But then they have a theatrical agent, and theatrically, you want something different than you do commercially. And I know that that is a struggle sometimes for you guys to keep everybody happy and still like keep costs down as far as how many photos you're uploading to the casting websites and things like that. But texture is a really big thing. I talked to a couple people about, the difference in texture between like a satin shirt versus a denim shirt or a flannel shirt. And we like that sense of texture. If everything, like if the background is a photo background and it's pristine and perfect, and then your hair is pristine and perfect, and then your shirt is pristine and perfect, it just can come across a little too perfect, little too staged, a little too posed. And what we want is just, I've said this before, we want to feel like we're capturing you in the middle of a thought, in the middle of a moment or a conversation, in the middle of a reaction. We want to feel like you're genuinely engaged with something mentally, that there's life going on behind the eyes. So, um, oh, it just says joy. Venus asked to see the whole, but you know what I love about this shirt? Actually, it says joy here, but look what's on the arm. Oh, it's upside down. On the arm is the nativity scene. Isn't that pretty? I love this shirt for that reason. And I love that it said joy, but I loved that on the arm, of all the things that they could have picked to put on the sleeve, they chose to put the actual nativity scene. So I love this shirt for that reason. So, okay, let me see your question. So, Katie, thank you notes to a CD after a booking. Nice to receive or not necessary. Email or snail mail, and only send a local CD or head CD as well. Okay, good question. So it's always nice. It's not necessary, but it's nice. So, you don't have to stress out if you didn't get a chance to like send a note to somebody, but it is nice to get them. I think nowadays, emails are fine. We're so used to that. A handwritten card is nice too. I know that takes a lot more of your time, and costs money, to buy the stationery and all of that, but it is a nice touch. I would say a handwritten card to the local CD, if that's the person you really did the most interaction with, I would say something like that would go to the local CD and would probably be a little bit more meaningful to the local CD. But a note to the head CD, or the overall project CD, casting director, is very nice and is great to have that connection. Not only just for you, but speaking for myself, I like to connect to those local actors as well. They matter to me. I may not have been like the local casting director, but I am very much a part of the process. And so those actors are of value and important to me too. So I love just having those connection points. So yeah, not necessary, but it sure is a nice touch. And I think email's great these days, and snail mail if it's local. That's what I would say. But even then, email is fine too. Valerie, finally saw your breakdown for the new Atlanta Christmas movie with kids you mentioned in our coaching session. Yeah. So, have a movie called All Is Merry and Bright. The breakdown came out, and we did list it on Breakdown and Actors Access. And there are several kid roles in there. So, and I'm just digging into all of the submissions. So that is out there. And again, it's called All Is Merry and Bright. And if any of you guys know the organization Greenhouse, the Greenhouse, Shen Li Fong, and it's being co-produced by Greenhouse. And so that group, that organization, that is a great organization. If you don't know about them already, I'm going to see if I can find their website. Yeah, Shen Li. Let's see. Well, I'll find it and maybe post it on my pages. But Greenhouse is a wonderful, wonderful group. And so they are doing their first movie. And Shen Li I've known for several years because he's an actor, but he's also a producer and an attorney. He is actually a very talented guy. And so he's one of the producers. And if any of you guys know him, that's why I mentioned him. And again, Greenhouse is a great organization. They have special guests, they have workshops. There you go. Workshops. They have a great community. So I think you can find them on Facebook, on Instagram, and then the website. And so All Is Merry and Bright is being produced by them, and really, really good group. I'm excited about it. So let's see. Richard, I'm finding out how amazing AI is in writing scripts and just wondering about your thoughts concerning AI, especially background. Richard, are you talking about AI, using AI background performers, like putting AI people in the background? Is that what you're talking about? Let me know, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Stephanie, you'll be getting your headshot soon. Good. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, Chris, be here. Hey, Beverly, I'll be moving to San Antonio, Texas next month. Are there any acting coaches classes that you might recommend near that area? I've never been there before. Okay, so any of you guys, I don't know. I know we have contacts in Houston and the Dallas area. I don't know if any of you guys are in any of you who join us on Tuesday nights are in the specifically San Antonio area, but if you are, chime in. So Chris Marks, who's on here as Be Here, give him some info if you have it, and that'll help. So my answer, Chris, is I don't know specifically, but I do know in Houston and in Dallas there are, several opportunities. In Austin, the casting directors that I worked with on The Chosen, Tony Cobb Brock Allen Casting. So it's Tony Cobb Brock and Sally Allen. They are the other two casting directors that I worked with on seasons 1 through 4 of The Chosen. They are still working on The Chosen, but Sally Allen teaches, but that's up in Austin. So I don't know if she ever does other locations. But if you guys have some feedback or some thoughts, please let Chris know. And again, Chris is on here as Be Here. And if I hear of any, Chris, I will try to remember to mention it on another one of our Tuesday nights. So, okay, let's see. I know, isn't it great? Like the nativity. Honestly, I love all Christmas and snowflakes and snowmen and, even Santa Claus stuff. But man, this was especially special that it had the nativity on there. A good reminder for me too, because, I need that as well to make sure I'm remembering what it's really all about. Kathy, just to make sure I understand, you are saying the texture of flannel denim is better than satin. I guess what I'm saying, not necessarily, it kind of depends on what you're going after, but I want you to be aware of the combination of things and understanding what those different textures communicate. So, we want realness, we want human, we want something that feels grounded. And so, but if you're going for a very maybe a wealthy kind of a person or a very strong business person, then it's understandable that you would go with more like strong fabrics or a suit coat or a solid high-end shirt like that. But what you want to be careful is that not everything is so perfect and clean and pristine. So I wouldn't tell you to wear like a satin shirt and then have your pristine background and then your hair perfectly like coiffed and everything. Like something needs to feel real. And you can do that through your expression too. Just make sure that something is showing us life. It's showing us engagement and activity. And so the thing I say about the flannel, the denim, it does feel more approachable. It if everything else, like your background is solid and As something as simple as like a plaid shirt or a flannel shirt can completely change the vibe of the shot. And so I've talked about this a lot with, especially, I've talked about it on here, I think, but especially with those I've been coaching, which is I don't recommend, let me back that up. A very commercial approach is to go in and have a checklist of all the character types that you want to pose, like a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, a judge, um, a mom, and you just go down the list. I would tell you, from a standpoint of what we're looking for, we don't need to see you in every one of those poses to know that you could play those characters. We don't need it to be quite so literal. In fact, sometimes being so literal and on the nose kind of is a turnoff. What we want is, or I'll just speak for myself. What I want is I want to see photos that emit the qualities of a person who would be a nurse. For example, someone who's compassionate, someone who is gentle, who is kind, who's intelligent. Those are the qualities, and those qualities could be a nurse, they could be a doctor, they could be many things. They could be a teacher, they could be, a professor, they could be a lot of different things, a counselor. So I don't need you to kind of fill specific categories on the nose. What I want you to do is to create that character and to communicate that character in the way that you not just style yourself, but in the way that you are communicating with the camera. Have a conversation, have an interaction with the camera or the person behind the camera if you have a good relationship with your photographer. I want to see that. I want to see those qualities in the way that you are relating to the camera, because in relating to the camera, basically you're relating to us who would be looking at the photos. So I would encourage you to create characters, not caricatures, not prototypes or stereotypes, but rich characters that are layered and nuanced. So, if it's a judge or an attorney, then it's a little more authoritative. It's a little stronger in the way that you pose and your posture, maybe your colors that you choose to wear, the facial expression. That's what I would encourage you to do, rather than check off this list and then try to figure out, this is my lawyer pose. I get this a lot. This is the lawyer pose, the folding the hands back. And that can work if the face matches it, but I don't need like lawyer pose, teacher pose. Like, do you get what I mean? It doesn't have to be so literal and on the nose. Just create a character that embodies those different types of roles that you might play, because you also don't need 20 headshots either. You could have 2, you could have 5, and that would be fine. That would show us plenty of range. Again, I'm speaking TV film, not commercial. Commercial is different. So I understand that your commercial agents are probably going to want you to do something different. But let's see. Okay. Yeah, Shunley, fellow Nebraskan. Yep. I submitted Brooklyn. I submitted for Mary's Bright. That's great. Seems like a cool connect. It is a great connection group, you guys. It really is. So I would encourage you to check them out. Cassandra, you finally saw one of mine. That's good. Okay, Richard, this year the Louisiana legislature takes up fiscal policy, which means it will be reviewing the film tax credits. I'm praying for our legislators to make the right decisions. That's a tough one, because you're always battling those who don't get the entertainment industry or don't see the value of it. Oftentimes they're much more business minded, or agriculturally minded, or whatever sort of the main industry is out of Louisiana. And I think there's a tendency to not truly understand how beneficial the tax incentives can be. You know, New Orleans, Louisiana used to be one of the biggest hubs before Atlanta came and kind of swooped in and took everything, and then Oklahoma, and now Louisiana. Yeah, they to be competitive, they're going to have to choose to keep that all going. So I hope that happens too. There's a lot of wonderful places to shoot in Louisiana and great talent base. So I know that sure would be great. And Louisiana has such unique and rich environments to shoot in that really are only found in Louisiana, which makes it special. So, okay. Sadie, married lady. Yes, that's me. I'm a married lady. I'm Beverly Holloway Shuey is my last name now. Let's see. What's in Dallas you would recommend? I don't know if you're talking about classes or teachers, coaches. I would let some of the Dallas actors probably speak to that, as far as coaches and teachers that they have liked and done well with, in the Dallas area. I think so. If you guys in the Dallas area have some recommendations, please share them with Jamie. Let's see, Carla. I'm heading to LA with my teen daughter who is hoping to get a workshop added to her resume. We might be doing a private coaching session with Gary Spratz, but I'm wondering if you could recommend a possible place for a workshop or open casting calls. There aren't a lot of open casting calls these days. That kind of it really diminished with COVID, and I don't know that they've ever really come back in a real strong way. At least not that I've seen. I would check Joey Paul Jensen. I would check with her. I would check. Let's see who else. Let me think. Let me think on that and see. There's a couple others that are especially good for kids, or for youth. So let me think on that a minute and see if I have a few that I could throw your way, for that. Joey Paul is great. She knows the youth world, teen world. She also casts for Sean McNamara. Sean did the Reagan movie. Sean did the Bethany Hamilton movie. Why am I not remembering the name of it? The story that had Anna Sophia Robb. Oh man, my brain. Anyway, Sean McNamara is great, wonderful. He's also a wonderful believer, and Joey Paul Jensen does most of his casting for his films. She's a great one to get to know, and for a long time, her specialty really was youth. She worked for Nickelodeon and did a lot for Nickelodeon, Disney. That whole kind of niche was her world. She does a lot more now, but yeah, she's great. She's wonderful. Marcy Liroff. Yeah, let me think. Let me think of a few others that I could recommend. Richard. Let's see. Bev asking about AI actors in the background. You know, I understand it when there's a need for thousands of extras. Quite honestly, they've been using, I mean, it wasn't AI, but they've been using non-human background for big, massive scenes for a very long time. So CGI, I know we did, when we shot years ago, we shot a movie and we needed an arena, like a music concert full of people. And that's when they had the cardboard cutouts. Literally, you rented these cardboard cutouts of, so they were just two-dimensional cutouts of people, and they just had sort of, you know, generic faces, and then you would stick hats on them. And like a shirt, and you'd put them way back in the background. And you'd mix them in kind of amongst people. So yes, it wasn't AI, but it was still non-human background using other means of filling out a crowd. And so, yeah, we would use hundreds and hundreds of those to make it more affordable. And then, of course, before AI, they would CGI, where they would take, a group of human extras and then just duplicate them around a stadium. I just don't. It's going to happen, whether we want it to happen or not. I think it's going to happen. And the technology is so good that we're probably not going to even know it's happening. And so I don't know that there's a whole lot we can do about it. And for background where it literally is crossing from A to B and there's not a lot of like interaction involved or any of that, it's probably fine. But I understand for those of you who are, working and like you'd rather not have your job going to an AI bot. I totally get it, but I don't know how we avoid it. From a cost standpoint, it's pretty hard to avoid. So, Venus, let's see. Chris, moving to San Antonio. A few of us Christian filmmakers between Austin and San Antonio are meeting up in January. Awesome. Venus, see, I knew, Venus, you were going to be the one that would have some sort of input because you are awesome and so connected. And Venus is a really great connector and networker, in addition to obviously being very talented. But Venus, you've really, I appreciate that you've allowed God to use you in that way. And so, yeah, Chris, connect with Venus, and I'm sure she'll have information for you. Okay, let's see. Chris, do you remember Marion? Of course I do. We're good friends and studied theater. Oh, I love her. She was my prayer partner with Women in My World. Love her. Again, beautiful, talented, off in Florida now. So, Grace. Oh, good. I'm glad. Let's see. Hi, Lance. Good to see you. We were just talking about the Louisiana market because Richard Sarang is mentioning that here it says the Louisiana legislature takes up fiscal policy, and you guys are going to be they're going to be reviewing the film tax credits in Louisiana. So Lance, I'm sure that's of great value to you. Lance, if you remember, we had him on and we need to get him back because we barely skimmed the surface of our conversation with Lance. Lance, if any of you guys need a coach or an acting teacher in the New Orleans area, man, Lance Nichols is your guy. I'm telling you, he's fantastic. So if you're in New Orleans or nearby and that's somewhere you could go to take one of his classes or workshops, I would absolutely recommend you do that because he's fantastic. So let's see. Amy, love the nativity, keep Christ in center of Christmas. Absolutely. Our church is doing a major live nativity Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Alabama. Oh, your whole family's doing it. I love that. That's great. Oh, no rain. Those outside live nativities are hard if there's any sort of weather. So hopefully that won't happen. Allie, as a casting director, have you ever had the opportunity to work with a writer and build a character that we have seen in a film on television? I have not on anything that's produced at this point. So I am working on a couple of projects. One that's been so far a 10-year passion project for me that I hope, I keep saying 2025 is going to be the year that I'm going to get it produced. So yeah, I've been able to speak to the process as a producer on some projects. And then of course, this new one that I'm developing. And I have another project that I'm in development with as well, but not that have been produced yet. I've really just been casting director, and I give input if I'm reading a script and I'm looking at it from the actor standpoint or from a casting standpoint of what, actors may respond to or what's working or possibly what's maybe not working as well. I've been able to speak a little bit to that, and sometimes I've been able to kind of bring the female perspective when it's either an all male or majority male production team, and to offer a little bit of insight from a female point of view, but not anything that anything that I would significant enough that I would take credit for. So, but that's part of the fun of being, in the process. I love that part of it. Very collaborative. That's one of the joys of the work we do. So, Monica, I keep submitting for grandma roles, but I never get cast because I'm not a grandma in real life, and I'm the opposite of a stereotypical grandma. They always ask for families to audition together, don't have kids or grandkids. What can I do? Well, you can't change what you can't change, right? You don't have kids, you don't have grandkids. And I get that. I don't have kids either. I do now by virtue of my husband, who has 2 grown kids and, may eventually have grandkids, but I don't have kids of my own. So I understand where you're coming from, Monica. Not being the stereotypical grandma, there are times when we want anything but the stereotypical grandma, but commercially, you're probably most likely going to end up with the more stereotypical grandma, family films. So you can either just understand that that's not who you are, or you can try to find maybe your version of a more stereotypical, not I don't say you go completely stereotypical and abandon who you are and create something totally fake, but is there a way that you can maybe look more into, when you say stereotypical grandma, what are those qualities they're looking for in that? What does that mean? Is it in the way that they treat the people? Is it in they're baking cookies? Like, what is it that's stereotypical, using that word stereotypical, about this character? And is there a way that you could find an honest connection to a version that would feel real for you? And I would say just try. The worst that can happen is it isn't the right fit, but anytime you do a tape or send an audition, that's good for you. That's good exercise. It keeps your muscles going. It keeps you thinking. It keeps you challenging yourself, especially if you're doing something that's a little different for you. I would try. Just do your version of the quote unquote typical grandmother. Maybe find that thing that is uniquely you, but still relatable, if that makes sense. Let's see. Richard, I've had my share of conversations with those who would argue that AI will replace actors. My argument is that you can't replace the emotions in the moment of a scene. That's exactly right. What you're feeling at the moment can't be duplicated. Backgrounds, I totally agree. I don't think AI will ever replace effectively lead actors. And because it's the humanity, it's the emotion, it's being present in a scene and reacting honestly and in real time to what's being said, how it's being said. You cannot pre-program any of that. I don't deny they're going to try, but it will never replace honest, live, in the moment conversations and human connections. You just can't. You can't program that. It's what makes us human, right? What makes us different. So Lance, I still do my private one-on-one coaching, mentoring online weekly. I have a small group of actors that I work with. Awesome. Great, Lance. So keep that in mind, you guys. And so he does coaching, mentoring online. So that means Lance, I guess that means they could be from anywhere, right? It wouldn't necessarily matter if they're local to New Orleans. So you guys keep that in mind. Lance and his beautiful wife, so talented, so many years of experience, and he's worked with some of the greatest directors that we have. So yeah, I highly recommend Lance. Let's see. Soul Surfer. Thank you, Robin. I just noticed my lipstick is pink and my shirt is red. Somehow in the mirror in my bathroom, it didn't look quite so pink. That's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm just being real, right? It's all about being real. Stephanie, the movie Rocky Arena background, I think, was non-human back. Yeah, all those huge scenes. Absolutely. They use those cardboard and blow up pieces for thousands and thousands of extras. Venus Monique, Chris B/B here. Her name is Venus Monique. And then Kathy chimed in. Yes, we love Venus Monique. Okay. Valerie, Monica, can you adopt a family of actors that look similar? We always have the opposite. We don't have grandparents to audition with. They want multi-generational. Well, that's what is a thought. If you have a network of actors, maybe you can create your own kind of acting family, audition family. Venus is a rock star. Yes, she is. Deontay, would really love to work with you. Well, that's great. Maybe we'll have the opportunity. That would be wonderful. Are you planning to do another Anthem Creative Workshop in 2025? Diego says it's going to happen. Yes, we can't wait. Actually, I loved that. And we cannot wait to do more. So it's going to happen. We're all excited. The truth is, I'll only plan another Beverly's husband. Sign him up. I will get him there, and we'll do audition technique and monologue workshops in the first half of the day. And the second half of the day, we're going to put on our waders and we're all going to go learn to fly fish from my husband. My husband is an avid and expert fly fisherman. That's really his passion. He does hunting and other things. He doesn't really do big game hunting, but some other smaller hunting, but really fishing, fly fishing, that's his passion. So yeah, I say bring it on. Part acting workshop, part fly fishing workshop. I love it. Let's see. Stephanie Aikens just able to hop on. No, audition requests have not gone out for All Is Merry and Bright. No, I'm just now going through the submissions and getting through that. So let's see. Diane, I don't have kids or grandkids either, but they do hip ones. Yeah, see, I know often there are roles where it's like we don't want the stereotypical grandparent. So they do come up, but yeah, just maybe you find a version that I don't know, that feels like you, that is still true to you, but works for the scene. At least it's a challenge for yourself, right? It's an exercise. Jan, I'm forming a film acting class group 18 and up called The Essential Players at my church in January. Suggestion for a great Christian script source. Any other suggestions? Been acting and studying since 1970, but completely starting a new project. That's awesome. Jan, I love that. That's great. Good for you. And that'll be, I'm sure that's going to be a wonderful experience for everyone who gets to be a part of that. And Jan, remind me where you are. Where is your church? What city is your church in? Great Christian script source. Are you talking about stage pieces or film pieces? Because stage pieces, a lot of those are published. There's a lot of publishers or divisions of a lot of the Christian publishers who have sketches and short form like Christian scripts and things like that, for stage. Not, I don't know a source for film TV. So it might be worth connecting with a writers group to see if they have resources. And I talk about the Facebook page, Christian Casting Community. You can always go on there and ask. I know there's a lot of writers that are on that page or a part of that community. And so you can always go on there and ask for writer resources, or if some of the writers that are a part of the community would want to partner with you or give you their name and connection information, and maybe you guys could collab on something. So, but if any of you guys have a thought for Jan, please let her know. Lance is coming out to LA in mid-January to do my one-man. Oh, I bet that's going to be great. How I learned what I learned. The Rubicon. Wow. Lance, I hope that happens. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, Lance does a beautiful one-man. I haven't seen it, but I've seen pieces of it and talked to Lance about it, and seen reviews about it. The reviews are amazing for his work. It's a one-man show, one-man play, August Wilson biography, How I Learned What I Learned at the Rubicon. So for those of you who are in LA in January, check that out. That'd be great. Let's see. And Lance, you can send me that information. I'll post it on my page so that people, anyone in LA who might want to come see it, we can get them the information. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, we're talking about Nashville for one of our get to creative exchanges. So that would be wonderful. And it is in driving range of a lot more people, which I would love. Let's see. Screen lines and fishing lines. Cheryl, that's awesome. I love it. We're gonna find a collab in there somewhere. I love it. Brooklyn adds to the resume how to fly fish after attending the iconic Anthem Collective workshop. I love it. Oh, I love it. Let's see. Diane, don't really have luck with a lot of commercials. Casino. I love it. Casino and assisted living. Isn't that just such a contrast in like two versions of the second half of life living? We're either at casinos or we're in assisted living. Oh, I love it. Let's see. Valerie, yeah, see, we could get your husband could come too. It could be one of those where anyone who wants to learn fly fishing can come, and we'll just have a little, crisscross worlds. It'd be great. Let's see. Lynn Sexton at Lilliness. Yeah, Lilliness is a great resource for sketches and plays, Christian sketches and plays for the stage. Yeah, that Lilliness is a great resource, and Lynn Sexton is great. So I just don't know about TV film. So yeah, maybe look at there's probably some Facebook writer groups too. So maybe you could just connect with them, and they have scripts they want to see actors performing and get developed, or do table reads, or, any of that. Or even film some scenes for that you guys could use for reels or for examples or for promotion. And they would get to see some of their work come to life and get a sense of how it plays. So it could be a great combination, I think. Great partnership. Okay. Fishing, hunting, acting. Might have to bring, that's what we need to do. We need to get Lucas Black, and then we'll fish. We'll talk about just, living a pure life, enjoying the land. We'll get Dawn Long, man, she knows how to work the land and live in harmony with the land. And she's an outdoors person. Yeah, amazing. So all these ideas. So so now I watch movies with my husband, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but we've watched a couple of Hey, Don. Hi. We watched a couple of movies about where they're showing the characters fly fishing. One happened to be an episode of Yellowstone. We watched a movie, oh man, it was probably 6 months ago, and it was really, the emphasis was on fly fishing. Fly fishing was a big part of the storyline, and the lead actor is an actor that is very well known and very highly regarded, and he's a fantastic actor. I won't mention the name because I don't want to be negative, but I said to my now husband, I said, "So does he know how to fly fish?" And my husband goes, said, "No, not at all." So, and then we were watching an episode of Yellowstone recently, and the character was fly fishing. I said, "What about him? Does he know?" He goes, "Nope." And he told me exactly why and kind of, what's wrong with what they're doing. But anyway, I'm learning a lot about that. Dawn, I was just talking about you and knowing how a river runs through it. No, it was, oh man, I don't even, it was like on Prime or something like that. River Runs Through It is beautiful. And he actually said that was very well done and is a beautiful movie. He, of course, loves it. But this was a more recent film, and it was about veterans kind of helping other veterans with PTSD through teaching them fly fishing. And he's this older curmudgeon kind of veteran that takes on a mentorship that he's kind of not excited about, but it's all through, they get to know each other and counsel and kind of go through the process, and fly fishing is the way they connect. So great premise, not a great movie, but you could kind of tell. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, so yeah, I was mentioning you because, well, first of all, my husband and I are determined to come up to Montana and visit Dawn in Montana, because every time she posts pictures, they look amazing and beautiful. But Dawn talks about like hiking over 50 miles or 12 miles or, the movie Filmed in Montana, or A River Runs Through It. Was A River Runs Through It filmed in Montana? I'm going to make my way up there soon, I'm sure. Anyway, Dawn's very talented. If you guys don't know, Dawn was the birth mom in our movie. Why? Why am I forgetting the title? Okay, you guys, I feel horrible. Alex and Stephen Kendrick, please forgive me because I am totally not of sound mind. Yeah, I feel so bad, you guys. What is wrong with me? Oh, okay. It's bad when you have to pull up your own IMDb page to remind yourself what you've done. Oh, you guys, it's bad. It's really bad. Um, it's wonderful, but it's bad. LifeMark. Okay. I all I could think of was the name of the documentary, and it's like, no, it's LifeMark. It's LifeMark. Okay. Anyway, I'm coming back. Yeah, Stephanie, thank you. I don't feel Diego puts in all caps. LifeMark. Sorry, Stephen, Alex, Kendrick. I love you, and I loved working on that movie. I just spaced. I yeah, I don't know. My brain is a little muddled, but in the best way, in the best possible way. Had a movie that just started filming in Oklahoma today, and so excited about that. And I guess that's it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to, on that note of me forgetting just about everything in my brain tonight. You know what's happening is my husband, my wonderful husband, Ben, that's his name. He made dinner tonight and he made chili and it's cooking and it's been cooking for several hours and he's waiting to eat until after we're done. And I think that's what I'm going to blame it on. I'm going to blame it on the fact that the smell of this wonderful homemade chili is wafting through my nostrils and I think it's making me think of dinner. You guys, this may not have been our best, most productive Tuesday night, but man, I love you guys. I just love you. Um, I just love hanging with you and your questions. And hopefully, answered a few of your questions. We have heard of Hollywood couples like Brangelina, Beverly, and Benverly. That's us, Benverly. Now appearing Bedfordly. Oh, you guys, I just love you. I love you. You encourage me and make me laugh. And most of all, I just love how you guys encourage and help each other. Venus, thanks for connecting with Chris and for all you guys for chiming in about script resources. And man, you're just the example of what I hope our community to be and to continue to be. And I love that you guys are part of leading that charge so that we're creating a community of people who really care about each other and share life and do life with each other and cheer each other on. So thanks for that. So I will see you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I think next Tuesday's our last one before we take a break. So I promise I will make sure that Ben is not cooking chili so that my brain is not distracted by the thought of eating dinner with my husband. It's still new and fun to me, And but if you want to ask questions during the week, go for it and I'll come ready to answer them. And yeah, love you guys. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for laughing with me. And yeah, say a prayer for those who are maybe struggling this season with loss. And like I said, it's on my mind. And so just maybe say a prayer for those that you might know going through the same thing. But I just hope you have a great week. And I will be seeing, I'm sure, many of you in my submissions because I'm going to start going through all of those submissions for Merry and Bright. So I'll be seeing your little headshots, and I'm sure they'll be beautiful headshots. Okay, love you guys. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.